I got off to a pretty early start this morning. Left the house before the sun rose in the dark, and I've just arrived at the entrance to the Cradle Mountain National Park. I'm very excited. Been wanting to get down to here since we arrived in Tassie. This has been one of my my dream areas. It's still very early. It's just going on 7:30 in the morning. Pretty low fog here. There was ice on the road. I think the temperature was down about 3 degrees coming in, so I was pretty cautious there. Just here's a beautiful area. I've got about 11 k's to go before I get to the information centre. The plan today is to head to Dove Lake and do a quick loop of Dove Lake. It's going to be a quick loop today. Today's really a recce for me just to kind of check it out and have a look before I come back and do a more thorough loop. But this is, again, something I've been excited to do, so I'll share a little bit along the way. Nice of a surprise visit by part of the Australian fauna there, a little kangaroo hopping away. Anyway, I'm here at the visitor centre here at Cradle Mountain. Just got my shuttle ticket. You can't drive up to the start of the loop. You take a shuttle bus. Good service here. I'm a member of the national parks here, so it's just the bus ticket today. Heading to the bus shelter now. Well, we've got to the starting area, to the registration. Registered to do the walk, and here's my first glimpse of the scenery here. Now I've got to find my way to the beginning of the walk. The sun's trying to come through. There's some blue sky above me here, but she's looking like a pretty grey all day. The reality here, like most mountainous regions in this area, is the weather's incredibly changeable. You have to plan for the best and worst. You have to accept the fact that rain may come when you least expect it, so you pack accordingly. I have 3 layers on right now, and I also have a poncho and a jacket in my backpack as well, just in case. You just never know. But it's cold still, but looking okay. Now they ask that you do the circuit in a clockwise direction. The track is quite narrow in places, and so what they're trying to do is manage the traffic. There's not a lot of people here today, so it shouldn't be a problem at all. But I'm going clockwise anyway. That was always the plan. All right, here's a better view of the lake. At the starting point, they've got a nice little viewing platform here, so you can check things out. So we've left the elevated track, but the track will be very well marked, as you can see, throughout the loop. This is considered to be a fairly easy, family-friendly walk. And obviously they're trying to keep people on the path to protect the environment as much as they can. The path's beautiful, really, very easy to walk on. And the views continue to impress. It's not my habit to show poo on my videos, but I'm going to show you this. You'll notice this is poo, but it's also square poo, and that means I know we're in the wombat territory. They're quite unique, and they put off square poo. We get another great view of the lake as we come through here, but you'll also see some folks out there on the water. Think of a kayak. Got to be picturesque down there too, I've got to say. Now there are stairs here. I didn't show you going up the stairs because frankly I was huffing and puffing a bit. Yeah, I'm headed back down again to closer to the lake. Again, they're well maintained. There are some icy sections at certain times of the year, and there are warning signs for that. So you just got to keep your eyes out. Well, look at that. The sun's coming out. Don't know how long it'll stay for, but it's nice. Sidetrack here. Not sure what's down here. I'm assuming it's a view, so let's go and check it out. Oh yes, it's like a little beach. Yeah. How pretty is that? Another path leading off to the right. Got to check it out. No signage, so I'm not sure what it is. Let's go down and have a look. It's another beach. And who doesn't love a beach? Let's go and have a proper look. Certainly not that powder sand that we like so much in many of Australia's beaches. It's quite gravelly here, but quite beautiful too. Looking out across the lake there. And look at this timber here. Look at that crop there. It's beautiful. And looking back to where we started, back to the station there. The bridge there. Gives you a sense of the sort of distance we've made so far. So I've just hit the 2 kilometre mark, and according to Strava, I'm hitting about 16 minutes per kilometre, which isn't a bad pace when you consider the environment we're in. I think that's pretty reasonable, probably more than I expected, to be honest with you. But I also don't want to rush it, because the scenery here is why I'm here. It's so brilliant. And so I am trying to pace myself to kind of take in these views while maintaining a reasonably good pace. Just to give you a sense of what I'm seeing when I say views, these paths, the foliage changes constantly. On the right, we perpetually have a view of the lake through the trees. The mosses and ferns, the variety of those things here is just spectacular. But you've got this view here always with you as well. So every step of this trek is entertaining, is inspiring to take in. And you kind of lose sense of time. The last kilometre didn't feel like anything like 16 minutes, to be honest with you. Maybe the last kilometre will feel much more like 16 minutes, I suspect. So the day's clearing up a little bit. If I pan up, you'll see that there's some blue sky there, and you'll certainly get a sense of how quickly the clouds are moving up there as well. There's some reasonably good winds up there at the higher altitude. But just the sun kind of filtering through the clouds is warming things up quite nicely. I'm going to say my 3 layers, I'm probably going to have to start undoing things soon because I'm heating up quite a bit. But on we go with the track. You can see the sun hitting the other side of the lake there. We're reaching towards the back end of the lake now. And the sun's coming through, not on me directly, but over there. The sun was on me a moment ago. The lighting here is just gorgeous. I'm definitely planning to bring my cameras, my real cameras, down here next time I do the loop. It certainly won't be a 2 hour loop when I do that. I think they make accommodation here until 4 o'clock. So, start off at 9 o'clock. You could be here all day doing photography quite comfortably and still make the last shuttle out. You generally can't have a mountainous area like this in what is effectively, a rainforest environment without waterfalls. And sure enough, I could hear something as I was walking along this track and looking at the distance. There it is. How spectacular is that? We'll get closer, I think, and take a good look at that one. Once again, a magnificent view, looking back into the lake, looking back towards where we started. And as so often is the case here, beautiful little area there with seating, so you can have a stop, have a snack, and maybe a cuppa. I just saw a couple setting up a cuppa behind me there. Very civilised. Throughout the falls, you can hear, throughout the walk, you can hear water moving constantly. Most of it you can't see, it's hidden in amongst the brush, but Here's a little creek that's kind of popped out here with the babbling water there. Just a little creek spot. Getting a little bit of rain here, not enough to make me concerned at this point in time, but we'll drag up the poncho, but we'll see how things go. Things could change, as I said. Things do change very rapidly out here. Of course, the juxtaposition is I'm getting a little bit of rain on me, but the sun's also coming out, so you win some, you lose some. It's nice. There's a track that leads off to the left here that takes you up to Lake Wills. I suspect that waterfall we're seeing is water coming from Lake Wills down into Dove Lake. I'll confirm, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that's, but look up there, that's where Lake Wills is. Anyway, won't be doing that today. As I said, this is a kind of recce, it's a quick one. You probably can't see what I'm seeing so much because the iPhone does such a good job of correcting for low light, but it's actually quite dark in this section here. And again, as we've seen in other walks, these gorgeous Tasmanian trees are just incredible. It's huge. The environment's changed quite a lot again. You'll see this amazing rock wall to my left here as I head down these stairs. And then I believe we'll be heading into what they call the Bull Rim Forest. I'm excited to see that. Again, you can see the mist now coming in. It's not raining so much as it's misting. Just duck under this rock. There's another great view of the lake on my right, looking back where I've just been. Maybe you'll hear it in the trees shortly, but the wind has definitely come up. You can see out in the water there. It was pretty quiet when we got here, but it's quite gusty here right now. And it's calm and it's gusty and so forth. Anyway, we're about to enter the Ballroom Forest. Again, a very dark area. Significant canopy overhead. Just stunning. Just crossing over another little creek here, but the view over to my left again is quite gorgeous. You can hear that running water there. Sipping. And then that amazing tree here. Out of the Ballroom Forest now. Coming up on yet another little beach just here, and then another seating area. This would be a great spot to sit a crowd down and give them a little bit of history and context on the environment. I'm sure that's what they do here. Over to my left, you get a sense of these mountains above you, all the way around you. This is effectively a crater, and so you're sitting in a basin, and then another waterfall. Look at that. Just beautiful. This section of the trail is a pretty significant ascent for me, at least. I think I'm about probably 3/4 of the way to the top. Some parts were quite steep, steps with handrails and so forth. If it was a beautiful day, which it's not. You can see the weather's coming in. This would be a spectacular view. Unfortunately, you can't see the tops of the mountains because they're in the clouds. Anyway, another day. Well, just catching my breath. I hope, I've reached the apex of this part of the climb, of the walk. And now it'll be the journey down. And then from there, I think it's reasonably flat back to the very beginning, but we'll see how we go. We are kind of just past the halfway mark, or I am just past the halfway mark. And so, feels good. I think I've gotten through the hard stuff, but we'll see. All right, I did lie. There were a few more steps up, but not many. And now the trail goes down, and now we're over the top. You can see the other side of the lake. And although the misting continues, there's a hint there of the sun coming through, just teasing me right at the moment. Anyway, let's head down. Just as we're headed down, something else I should mention, it's pretty obvious anyway. This is a wet track. There's a lot of water, so you really want to be wearing shoes that have some level of water resistance, or at least can keep your feet warm in the environment. It's also a rocky environment, very uneven, oh goodness me, uneven environment. And so you're going to want ankle support for sure. I will bring poles next time as well. I've got to say, for some of those, particularly the stairs that were uneven coming down, a set of poles would have made a big difference. I'm back down at lake level now, and just like that, the clouds are starting to lift as well. Some peaks of blue sky. Again, a gorgeous little view across the lake. But it's nice to be back on level ground again, I got to tell you. So I'm coming into what is probably the most photographed feature in Tasmania, frankly, for the whole place, maybe. This hut here, I believe, is a replica of the original one, the boat hut. But it still attracts photographers as they come down here. And I think I read somewhere that they have a problem because people keep stealing the timber to take away as a souvenir. But yeah, that is the boat hut. I'll swing around the other side. See the construction from these timber shingles, effectively. That's a much better view. Of course, it's essential that I get the selfie. I couldn't possibly live without that. It's the last stretch back to the beginning in the car park. Probably a cup of coffee and maybe a meat pie, you never know. Somebody's been futzing with this sign here. They've said that the car park is 0 minutes away. There's actually a 10 there somewhere, I'm sure it's... Anyway, we press on. All right, I had to stop here briefly. Just this view down across the valley to the boathouse, and then those gorgeous mountains behind them. And you can see as I pan to the right, the sun is definitely out in areas. It's kind of peeking through. You can see it lifting the green there. But what a spectacular view. Pausing again, not just because I'm puffing, pausing again because as the sun is really coming out now, you're catching the colours here, and particularly that moss, that white moss on the rocks there. It's really popping. And then I'll pan around here to even look across. You'll see that everywhere here. Well, that's pretty much the end of the trail. I can see the main building right in front of me here, and I'll go and sign the book, make sure they know that I made it back safely. I'm in one piece. It's been a great walk. I've had 4 seasons in one day, no question about it. But I have the sun fully out now, and it's absolutely glorious. I burnt 2,700 kilojoules, so I guess that's good enough for me to have a latte or maybe a meat pie or something like that. Anyway, it's been a great walk. Thanks for joining me. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're living your best life. Be good to each other. Yeah, have a good one.